Someone lose a grenade. Oh boy. Make sure you guys find us online at theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at theblitzsportsradio, and on Twitter at theblitz_sports. We post polls, we post updates, we post behind the scenes, we post pictures of Bandi. Yes, we still don't do that, but we still need to start doing that because I know Bandi's just like, when are they actually going to do that? I'm going to make sure I do that, okay? Because I am the one running that site, okay? Either way, you can also follow us over on the Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV, where you get to see us live on your screens, on your TV, on your phone, on your tablet. It doesn't matter. You can watch us anywhere, and that also comes into play with both the Twitters as well as the Facebooks if you guys don't have a YouTube or a Twitch, which you don't even need to have an account, okay? You don't even need to have an account. But if you do have an account, make sure you guys do subscribe to WZZN TV so you can stay in touch with all of your favorite sports talk hosts, just like me and the Bandi Man. And if you want to join in on any of the conversations today, you can call us at 256-576-4977. And this first hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. And that even goes for today, guys, because holy crap, it is hot outside. But it's also supposed to rain like every single day moving forward. At least that's what it says. You never know what's going to happen in the Tennessee Valley. It's better to be safe than sorry, so make sure you guys check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration today. You're live hanging with the chillest crew of 2N Sports Radio. I'm going to talk a little bit slower so I can give my producer a little bit more time. In the booth, the one, the only, Bandi Man Bailey Lowry. Oh, yeah.
What's going on, Captain Cool?
Man, I cannot complain. It is Wednesday. It feels like Monday didn't exist. Tuesday was a fun day, and now we're on a wacky Wednesday. And let me say, I did start a show. I will tell you about it here in a second. But Bandi, before I talk about me, I want to talk about you. How are you doing, my good friend?
I'm doing good.
Yeah? Anything special going on over these last, over the last 22 hours, I guess?
The last 22 hours.
Street Fighter?
Actually, no.
No?
Not really.
Really? Okay. All right.
It's been a little downslope on the Street Fighter lately. It's been mainly Miles Morales.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, you got to take your times and go back and forth from game to game, okay?
Yeah. And honestly, a little bit of Twisted Metal.
There you go. Twisted Metal. Which game are you playing from that series?
Twisted Metal Black.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever played that one.
It's, I'm starting to realize that maybe this probably wasn't the Twisted Metal I should have grown up on.
Okay, yeah.
It's a little dark.
It is a little, I mean, all of the Twisted Metals are a little dark. I mean, it's about, running into cars and blowing them up and all that stuff. It's a death tournament, pretty much.
Yeah, but like in the other ones, you had like the little cartoony feel. Like you would get like the monkey's paw wish at the end. It's like, oh, I want to. It's like, oh, you sent my brother away in the last tournament. Like you sent him off into space.
Yeah.
Like, take me to my brother. It's like, okay. And he just teleports to her brother in space.
Okay.
Like, all right, cool. Now you're stuck too.
Yeah. Twisted Metal Black. Okay. No, I've seen the cover of this one.
Twisted Metal Black. It's more about revenge.
Yeah, it looks a little gritty. It looks a little gritty, I will say that.
Yeah, probably should not have been playing this when I was like 10.
Yeah, I'm already, like, I look it up and I'm seeing, like, thumbnails that are saying, did they go too far? Question mark.
Yeah, look up the character No Face.
Okay, No Face. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. How terrifying is this guy? Okay, he literally has, he's got a face. He doesn't have he doesn't have eyes. He doesn't have mouth. It's all sewn up. Kind of scary, I will say. Does he wears a mask? Is this that guy, or?
He does not wear a mask.
Okay, he just has, okay.
That's just his face.
Okay. So you can racist him though. All right, yeah, that's pretty horrendous, I will say to that. Either way, to go on to something a little bit more lighthearted.
A little more lighthearted.
Bandi, I started HBO Max's, or sorry. Bandi, I started Max's brand new Kelowna High season 2, I guess. I mean,
season 2, yeah.
Season 2, yeah. I love. Okay, so for people who listen to this show, I mean, obviously, me and Bandi are some 20-something-year-olds, When it goes back to shows like in our past, it's crazy how much we can relate to people that are in their 30s, that are in their 40s, that have watched these shows as well. Because me and Bandi, we kind of have some old souls.
Yeah.
I will say that, all right? We have watched Clone High a long time ago, MTV's Clone High.
Hey, well, according to Scott and Drew in the morning, I don't watch anything apparently.
I guess not. I mean, you definitely watch way more than I do. That's for damn sure, because I have no idea about any of the movies that you guys usually bring up, especially you and Joe. I'm just like right over my head, unless it's like a Marvel movie, because I stay in tune with those. But Clone High, the show that came out way back when, in I believe it was 2000. Okay. I watched this show a few years back, just kind of because of JFK. I thought he was a funny character. You know, it was a bunch of like funny moments and stuff like that. I very much enjoyed the compilations, which then turned me on to the show, which I very much loved. Now I'm watching the new show, and I gotta say, right off the bat, there's a different feel to it altogether. Okay.
Different feel?
We already understood that it would be a different feel. I'm only 2 episodes in. I know I watched the first episode. A lot of that stuff was seen in the trailer. Yeah. The second episode, it's starting to kind of feel a little bit like Clone High of the past. The only thing is, I feel like I'm a guy that's really looking forward to watching a show that I watched way back in the past, but it's not going to be the same. Okay? This is not the same show. Gandhi's nowhere to be seen, at least in the first 2 episodes. They do make reference to that stuff. And it is extremely woke, but in pretty funny ways. Not like Velma, okay? That Velma show was not. That was not a good way to be woke.
That was just bad.
That was like yelling at the white male that, hey, you are the problem of this society. Probably, but still, I mean, we don't need to be hearing that all the time. I already get that enough from my wife. Just kidding. I'm not married. But
all right, Tom.
But I'm watching Clone High season 2. Obviously, they bring in extra characters. It's nice to see. The way that Clone High tries to be woke is they try to be woke to the point where they kind of make fun of some of the woke culture that is going around, and sometimes it works. You saw the first episode, Bandi. You saw how they had the cancel corner and stuff like that. And there's
the cancel corner.
Yeah, all that stuff. They do a pretty funny job of some of this stuff. They do. A lot of the jokes sometimes do not hit like they used to. Maybe that's because we're just growing up. Makes sense. But it's just, there's some comedy that still sticks, and I'm like, this is a show that I would not expect to come back and be this funny. There are times when I'm actually giggling like I did when I giggled Clone High, the original series. Yeah. It's not the same, though. Clone High, the original series, 9 out of 10.
Yeah, like they were going like a mile a minute with the jokes in the old series. Like they were going like constantly.
It was a lot. This second season, it's like, it's what I imagine the second season that would be 20 years later would be, okay? Where it's trying to capture the same charm as the original, but with updated jokes. The clones have to adapt to this new world. There's drones, there's online, all of this stuff. It's very funny. I don't care for the TikTok aspect of it because they do a lot of jokes that call back to TikTok and all that stuff, and I'm like,
especially through Confucius.
Yeah, Confucius. Yeah, I kind of like Confucius, too. I think he's one of my favorite new characters. Obviously, Christopher Columbus is pretty funny because, he seems like one of those older characters that was in the show. I don't remember if he was exactly in the show, but the one thing that is missing is Gandhi, and I think that was a different side of the humor that went into the show that really made me giggle a lot. It made me really like the show was Gandhi, and the characters kind of connecting with him as well as just Abe. Because right now it just feels like all the characters are on their own. They have their own little side stories. They're kind of building their own character development outside of the screen. And we're focusing more on the old characters befriending the newer characters. And I don't mind that at all. I just hope that some of these newer characters kind of get more of a, I'd say, identity than just their wokeness,
It's kind of tough, too, because what I liked about the old series, like, you can take a look at the clones that were introduced in season 1, it's like, okay, I can tell like who these are supposed to represent. Like you can take one look at Cleopatra and it's like, okay, that's Cleopatra.
Yeah.
JFK, same way.
Yeah. For sure.
Not really the same with some of these new guys. Like the way they did Harriet Tubman, like that's not how I expected the Clone High version of Harriet Tubman to kind of be designed, like the overly neon.
Yeah, the pink hair. Yeah.
Like Frida Kahlo, I think they actually did a good job with Frida.
Yeah, I have no idea who that even is in the first place. I don't know. Maybe I missed that day in history class or something. But
I mean, I kind of like history, so
I love history. Don't get me wrong. There's just some history that I might miss for whatever reason. I'm really into that. American history, even though it's probably some of the worst compared to other countries because they're a little bit more interesting. That's just how it is. But so far, I'm enjoying it. It's a nice little side show before I watch another insane anime because I just did finish Demon Slayer. But Bandi, so far, I would say you could give it a watch. I say it's valid because there's this one scene that I thought was extremely funny where one of the characters did not know what mansplaining was, and JFK was like, let me explain it to you. And then he puts his hand on her shoulder and is like, this is what mansplaining is. And he's about to say it, and she's like, okay, I understand. And it just instantly ends. It's a very funny moment. It's in the first episode, so it's not a spoiler at all.
On the other side, though, have you heard of The Idol? That's also on Max.
I've watched some of the first episode, yes.
Did you actually watch some of it?
Sorry, I got a girlfriend that likes to watch stuff with The Weeknd in it. That's my fault. Do you want me to give you a little touch on that, Danny?
Well, I mean, it's getting canceled already and taken off after 5 episodes. So I mean,
really?
Yeah. I mean, because apparently the acting has been absolutely terrible, and the way it depicts SA,
okay,
is some of the worst among a TV show that's ever been on the air.
Yeah. So what I got out of the first episode was that everybody in Hollywood are pretentious little pricks. I don't know if I can say that on this show, but I said it. And
well, we don't have a dumb button, so
either
way, we're gonna have to reap the consequences.
Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't think anybody's gonna get onto us. But the show makes it out like all of these people are just terrible as like human beings. It's like if I ever made a large sum of money and was successful either acting or dancing or singing or whatever, I would not want to end up like half of these people. No. A lot of them are pretty terrible. Another thing that I didn't really like was just first off, there's a lot of little lying. There's one thing that I do like. I will throw that out real quick.
Okay.
The cinematography in the show is pretty much just a Weeknd music video. That's the entire thing, okay?
Okay.
Pretty good cinematography. I like how it's actually like filmed on an actual film camera, and there's actually crackles in the screen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of nudity. There is a lot of nudity, and it likes to show that to you because every second it's just like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And I'm like, okay, it's whatever. Yeah. It's whatever to me.
I caught one episode. I saw The Weeknd act.
Yeah.
And just went, he can't do this.
There were some bad scenes with him. Why are we
like there?
It's fine. It's fine. It's the first segment of the show.
Yeah, it's the first segment of the show.
Totally fine.
But at the same time, it's like, man, this guy cannot act.
I think a lot of it is like the role that he was put in. I mean,
well, it's like he was also like a creative director behind it, like
which I like that part of it.
Like the behind the scenes, like all the quotes that were being taken from behind the scenes. It's like, yeah, he was kind of being very very much behind the creative process. Yeah, like he's putting in a lot of his input, trying to make a lot of changes.
And I can tell because again, it goes back to
stick to singing.
That cinematography. I like the cinematography that he puts in. It's very symmetrical. It's very ominous kind of in a way. And I mean, it sets up for an intriguing first episode. And then you find out about, what's going down. Bandi, I don't know if you watched the first episode or just a random episode, but you find out what's going on. This girl has a picture leaked online, and then, she finally finds out after people were hiding her phone for the longest time, and then they finally broke the news to her. It just, The Weeknd, going to him, his acting, it's the role that he's put in is very like him, but at the same time, just like a local version of him, like a local DJ. Like he was like, is that what's her name? Because I don't know exactly the girl's name. He's like, I'm just gonna say Selena Gomez. It wasn't Selena Gomez, but is that Selena Gomez over there? He's like, whoa, I gotta come over there and get a dance with you. I gotta see this up in person.
Yeah, so.
And that was like, okay. He's like, first off, this girl literally just had.
It was something like that. So, I gotta see this masterpiece up close, like something along those lines.
And it was right after that leaked picture, by the way.
It's some of the weirdest dialogue I've ever heard in a show.
Yeah. It's not realistic. It's a little out there, and it's definitely in your face, if you know what I'm saying, Bandi. Jesus.
Oh, it's almost downright offensive.
A little, but I don't know. I don't know how Hollywood is. I've never even been out west. I need to get out there and at least go to San Diego because my sister's out there, and I want to finally go out west one of these days and take a little peek at what I'm missing out on, which I don't think it's much because we got everything in the South.
Yeah, if it's anything like that show, then I'm completely fine staying down here.
Yeah, at least I won't go to like Hollywood or like Beverly Hills and stuff because I feel like that's when you'll actually find some of those people. But either way, if you are from those areas, I'm not judging you at all. I have no idea who you are, but from the show, it makes you out like a bad person. So maybe boycott the show. I don't know why it's getting canceled though. I have no clue.
Well, no viewership, terrible ratings, and backlash from the content of the show.
I also heard that the show it's pretty cut and paste. You know, it starts out
Formulaic, yeah.
It's pretty interesting right off the bat. Obviously, it's going through a star's kind of mind, and you know what she has to go through and stuff like that. But then I guess it turns into like a Taken type of story, you know, where the girl gets either captured or something like that. I have no idea if that's the way that the show goes, but I was kind of, you know, hinted to that at the end of that first episode, which I don't even think I finished. I forgot. I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Had a great little time sleeping that night. You know, dreaming about the weekend and whatnot. But either way. Bandy, we gotta get into some of these sports stories so we don't lose more people to the HBO Max. But today is June 28th, 2023, and here's what you need to know in the Blitz today. And I'm only gonna really go over one story, so then Bandy can talk about what he's gonna get into later on in the show. But either way, Dalvin Cook has been one of the top free agents on the board for a couple of weeks now, with little to no conversation on where he'll end up come the 2023 NFL season. However, Jets tight end Tyler Conklin recently said that there's plenty of room. There's plenty of room in the Jets organization. Continuing with, we've got plenty of room for whoever wants to win a Super Bowl at the Jets organization per Good Morning Football. That was from the other day. Now, usually I wouldn't bat too much of an eye at, you know, this type of story. But Coach Robert Saleh, he never dismissed the comments about bringing the former Vikings running back into New York to play for this team with Aaron Rodgers. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's a decision that goes up to the GM, all right? Joe Douglas, he'll be the one that makes that decision. And I just want to imagine a little bit in my head, Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook. Let's just think about that. Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook wouldn't be too much different from, you know, maybe Jones, Aaron Jones. Is it Aaron Jones or is it Alex Jones? I get those Knicks mixed up all the time. It's
For who?
The Packers. I think it's
Aaron Jones.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones?
I think Aaron. I get mixed up with the two running backs over there. But either way, I'm going to say I think it's Alex Jones. But it's not too much different from having him because it is a running back who can also catch out of the backfield and go for quite a bit of yards. And I think it would be a perfect little fit for him. And then Aaron Rodgers obviously would have that safety blanket as well as the plethora of wide receivers that he has coming onto that organization. But not only do the Jets have some interest in this guy, okay, he's also been seen liking photos for the Dolphins, the Patriots, and guess who? Obviously, the Jets. But at the same time, there is a little bit of possibility that other teams might be in the mix as well, and other teams might be the better fit for one Mr. Dalvin Cook. And we're going to take a little look at that later on during the cool segment of the show because we got some in-depth stuff to take a look at when it comes to Dalvin Cook's future as well as his past in the NFL. Shohei Ohtani's magic act continues last night against the White Sox as he continues to find success both on the mound and at bat. On this episode of Ohtani's life, the 28-year-old slugger dealt through the pain of a cracked fingernail while he was pitching on the mound, okay? How'd that work out for him? Well, he had 10 strikeouts, and he only walked 2 people and allowed 4 hits altogether. And in him being on the mound, no runs were scored. Obviously, after he gets taken out, a run does come in, and it kind of goes on his card. But outside of that, the man was absolutely elite on the mound. And on the plate, Shohei was just as good. I mean, he went 3 for 3 on the night with 2 homers, giving his team the 4-2 victory and moving the Angels to a 44-37 record on the season. You got to love this guy, but you also got to love what's going down in Atlanta as well. And if you guys want to know what's going down in Atlanta, you can go over to our sister station, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and listen in on that. But our show just got started, so there's a lot to listen to over here as well. Mm-hmm. But, Bandy, what do you got going down later on during the play-by-play?
Oh, we got plenty of news out in the world of gaming today. I mean, the Xbox trial is still going on as we speak.
Nice.
New revelations coming out, including a very poorly redacted document that actually reveals how much The Last of Us 2 and Horizon Forbidden West actually cost, budget-wise.
Jeez.
We got a lot of those revelations, including a critical quote that I want to bring up later on in the actual segment, as well as we got a new World of Warcraft Classic update that brings hardcore with permanent character death.
Gotta love that. I love hardcore. And the gamers love it too.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you give these WoW players more WoW to play, I mean, they're happy.
Yeah.
I never played it myself, but hey. Seems pretty good.
Yeah, I know some people who played it, and they played it for a long time, so it's got to be somewhat good.
But what's got me? With the South Korean ratings board, that's where we're getting these kind of leaks from.
Okay.
From a notice on the South Korean ratings board, a fresh Red Dead Redemption rating is hit, which has sparked the rumor that could we be seeing a Red Dead Redemption remaster here in the future pretty soon?
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Huh.
Bring it off the 360 PS3 era, give it a graphical uplift into the PS5, Xbox Series X days.
Bring it to the future. I want to listen to some Jose Gonzalez while I'm riding into Mexico. I love that.
Hey, I finally want to get the chance to play Undead Nightmare.
Oh, that would be awesome as well. Bandy. I got to get that on the... I got an Xbox that actually works. I got 3 Xbox 360s right now sitting at my house, and one of them works. And I'm going to make sure the other one does as well, okay?
Yep.
And I'm going to play some of those old games.
And a broken tech has now been discovered in Street Fighter 6 where you can never be thrown.
Oh, never?
Never. Through this option select, it is impossible to get thrown because you will always be attacking it with input. You will always block if they go for an attack, or you'll always tech their throw. It is a bug in the game done with input assistance, and Capcom is thankfully already aware of it and is trying to patch it out of the game.
Very nice.
Before Evo.
Yeah.
For one, whoever discovered, Chinatown on Twitter, at Chinatown TBB, who discovered it and posted this tech, you are a saint.
Yeah, thank you.
Because this is the kind of tech that a lot of players would just keep in their back pocket until a major comes around. It's like, oh my God, his defense looks incredible. But only you know.
Yeah. Sheesh.
So you are a saint for posting this, making it aware for the community. But that has brought up... Oh, man, I'm trying to get my words together today.
Totally fine.
That has brought about the conversation of throw looping in Street Fighter and whether or not it's actually a good thing for the game. And I'm going to explain why people are complaining about it too much, and it's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal. What do you guys know?
You see one clip from Twitter, and you immediately go crazy. I'm going to explain why it's really not the big of a problem, and that we've actually been dealing with it for a very long time.
Exactly. And you know, we also have been dealing with the USFL for a while now because it's coming to the end here in a little bit, and we'll be talking with one Mr. James Larson from USFL Newsroom to get all the scoop on the season altogether. Was it a success? Was it a failure? And also the championship game. Are we going to see something that's kind of cut and paste from the XFL? Highly unlikely, but James Larson's going to be the guy to answer all those questions and more later on in the show, but we're going to hop into a break. When we come back, the cool segment starting out hot and cooling down when we get back here on the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Installation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do afterpaint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So if you happen to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
The Blitz has been called.
I just want to rock. Body of the year.
Just give it a second. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Johnny Ram, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man Bailey Lowry, here on the Afternoon Blitz. Sheesh, he goes forever. He's gonna have like really good lungs, I would say. I'd say really just top tier lungs. I wonder how long he could hold his breath in a tub of water.
And we have to ask Nardwar.
Yeah.
He knows everything.
He does know everything. We could just ask Nardwar, and you know what? Maybe the next interview.
How long do you hold your breath underwater? You're Lil Uzi Vert. We have to know.
Lil Uzi? You do a really good Nardwar impression, I will say that.
Oh, thank you.
Good job, Bandi. But you know who does a really good job putting roofs on top of houses, or at least just constructing them, or at least putting them together? At least,
who, Captain Cool?
I would say Fleming Roofing and Restoration, because these are the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs, Nardwar, okay? You got to look them up online right now at FlemingHSV.com, fill out your free quote, and then also kind of just wait, because whenever it happens, that just means that Fleming's going to show up. And when they show up, you're going to get a nice little roof on top of your house, whether it's complete restoration or just a small fix. Fleming Roofing and Restoration's got your back, or, well, your roof. We got a few stories to get into, guys. There's some highs and some lows about what was going on yesterday going into today. We got a lot of NFL news. We want to focus kind of on the Dalvin Cooks and also possibly the Josh Jacobs, because running backs right now, there's a big question on how much teams really need them, especially when it comes to these two who were pretty elite last season. And also, I want to hop into a little bit of the Victor Wembanyama effect and what that has come to San Antonio, because right now the Spurs are looking pretty good for the 2023 season, going with, you know, a lot of people jumping on those season tickets. That's all coming up here on What's Cool. It's getting hot in here. So hot in here. spicy meatball.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
What? Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you know anything about running backs in the NFL, they're not really the hottest commodity because so many of them can find success because it's not always based off of just the running back. It's based off of the line. It's based off of the quarterback. It's really based off of a lot of things that come into effect, that come into play. There are those special running backs. We got the Derrick Henrys. We got the Nick Chubbs. But also inside of that list, you'd throw in, a Jonathan Taylor, of course. You throw in maybe even a Josh Jacobs or even a Dalvin Cook. Right now, Dalvin Cook and Josh Jacobs currently are in a confusing spot for both of the players. And right now, I'm going to focus mainly on Josh Jacobs because, first off, Jacobs is right now sitting on a free agency tag where there's nothing really happening. There's no movement. He wants a long-term deal. The Raiders haven't really done anything about it. So, although the NFL is currently in a dead period, there's still a lot of conversations to be had around players' contracts and all of that stuff. And right now, we see what's going on in New York with the Giants and Saquon Barkley. They've been having nice little conversations about possibly getting something done because Saquon does not want to be on a franchise tag going forward, okay? He does not. He wants to stay with this team long-term, just like Daniel Jones is staying with this team on a pretty long-term contract. One guy that's not getting the same love, or at least we're not hearing anything about, is Josh Jacobs, okay? Back in 2022, Josh Jacobs was the best running back in the league when it came to getting yards, okay?
Yeah.
He was the 2022 leading rusher. He had 1,600-plus yards on the season. He was leading the NFL. This guy is a stud, and heck, he's only, 25 years old? He's 25 years old. You'd think that possibly, or probably, the Raiders would be like, hey, this guy's still young. He's got a lot to play, at least 5 seasons. Let's just throw this guy a contract. But that's not exactly what we're hearing. And right now, we're kind of just speculating. Is Josh Jacobs going to go down the route that we thought Saquon Barkley was going to go down, where he holds out as long as he can, even past the deadline to where they need to get something done to get a long-term contract with the Raiders? Are the Raiders thinking that they could get something better? There are other running backs currently in the free agency. Obviously, Dalvin Cook's there. Obviously, Kareem Hunt is there. Even Ezekiel Elliott could make for a good running back on a team that has a solid line. But Josh Jacobs is built a little bit different, and out of all of these running backs, he is still the youngest. 25 years old, the guy's putting up 1,600 yards. Man's being the top running back in the league, and we're seeing nothing from it. We're listening to all the talk from Dalvin Cook, waiting to see where he'll go. We're listening to all the talk from the Cowboys and how they're sitting with a pretty good running back core with just Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Getting rid of Ezekiel Elliott because, you know what? Even though Zeke's been pretty elite in his first few years, he hasn't seen the same he hasn't seen the same progression as he has in the past. He's kind of just a regression as of this point. But for a guy like Josh Jacobs, he's not looking to really let up anytime soon. Guy's still playing some top-tier football. But this is the thing here. The deadline's coming up, and it's just around the corner. It's on July 17th. And if negotiations don't go Jacobs' way, this man's going to either have to settle for the $10 million franchise tag, which is still a good chunk of money, but we've seen in the past how players sometimes do not just want the franchise tag money, okay? And sometimes they're able to find more money by just sitting and waiting. If he waits until past July 17th to set something up, and they don't come to a negotiation on either a franchise tag or possibly a long-term contract, then Jacobs isn't going to be making any money, okay? He's not going to be making any money until a team signs him to a new deal, okay? Could we see Jacobs on a totally different team? Could we see Jacobs play for the Raiders and still be kind of questioned on what he wants to do moving forward with this team? All I know is it would be a huge loss if the Raiders just decided to push this off to the side and kind of forget about it because Josh Jacobs, 25 years old, man is going to be a star for your team, okay?
Yeah, that man lost me plenty of games in fantasy.
Exactly.
Just having to go against him.
Exactly. You don't want to go against him. Whether you're playing fantasy, whether you're playing on the field, Josh Jacobs is a guy to be reckoned with. But I don't know. It's up to the Raiders. They've got until July 17th to come to terms on some sort of contract, whether it's keeping the franchise tag or making something long-term that makes Jacobs happy as well and making him definitely going to stay with this team moving forward. Bandy, who do we got on the line?
We got Brandon on the line trying to talk some running backs.
Heck yeah, Brandon. What is up, my dude? You got any comments on Josh Jacobs possibly getting a long-term deal with the Raiders?
Man, I'm beginning to wonder if there aren't some metrics floating around among GMs that they're not talking about.
Yeah.
Where they have decided that running backs have a 4-year shelf life.
Yeah.
And after that, they're just not ready to pay them anymore.
I'm kind of getting that same thought, especially in these last few years. I mean, and running backs are voicing their opinions. It's almost seeming like there might be even like a boycott of some sort on the running back position because it really just feels like they're just second or even third priorities when it comes to building around that offense.
I agree with you. It just seems like there's been a change that you can see that's not being talked about.
Yeah.
And it's almost as though they say, okay, we're going to use a running back on their first-round contract, but then after that, it's whatever.
Yeah. And then you get like a difference.
They're not willing to give the money anymore because most guys don't give you what Derrick Henry gave.
Yeah.
Or if they do give it to you for 3 years, in year 4 and year 5, they're just not physically capable of doing it anymore.
Yeah. And then you get
one of you guys can go. Brandon, you can go. Finish the thought.
Well, I just wanted to say that, it just feels like there's been such a change. You know, when I watched it when I was younger, it was all about a running back. You had to have one.
Exactly.
And I think now it's more about being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. It's more about how much spread can you get off somebody in their first contract because you just don't have that money to be able to pay everybody anymore. And you got to figure out where you can cheapen it up at. And I feel like this is the new position where they're just not going to pay it anymore, at least not for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. And but then you also get like a different energy from these owners because they'll spend like one of these high-valued first-round draft picks on a running back. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, are we valuing the running back position this highly to where we're spending a lot of these first-round draft picks on this position and trying to get a good running back? Or do we just want to keep cycling through different players and just try to experiment?
Yeah.
And just build up around our other tools? Like, it's one or the other, but we're getting the sense of both.
Well, and it's like you guys the other day y'all were talking about basketball, and then I saw a tweet from Scott Tyson that was talking about how many players drafted in the second round from 2020 and 2021 that are just not in the league anymore.
It's crazy. It's hard to keep
up.
Right. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at some of this myself. Like, I'll have to see if some of these players are even still in.
I mean, how can you afford to expend talent that was drafted that high, second round? That's not very deep in a basketball draft.
No.
To where they're completely out of the league. Then you look at them; they're just not paying running backs. And it makes you wonder, it's like now if you're not a first-round talent anymore, are you really even guaranteed to make a second contract?
Yeah.
Right. It's like some of these second-round guys I'm seeing, like, from the draft. Like, we traded for one of them in the second round, Elijah Hughes, this guy who used to be on the Jazz. I have not heard his name since this draft.
Yeah.
Like, I think we maybe have played him like 2 or 3 games max.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of like with the Falcons. They had an interview the other day with the GM. I don't even really want to say his name. They talked about they drafted Vic Beasley, and they knew that he was not a guy that loved football, and they even signed him for the 5th year, just hoping he was going to do something. You sign guys and you pay people, and you pay them all this money. And you're hoping they're going to be something. And with these running backs, they're signing them hoping that they're going to be 2 or 3 years. I think you take the really good ones in the first round of the draft, like you were talking about just a minute ago. You said, you take them with high picks. But I think they're only taking them for what they can get up till their first service.
I agree.
And then after that, they're done with them. It's a throwaway position. We'll give you $35 million, but we will not do what Le'Veon Bell wanted. I think think that's where they broke him. I
Yeah,
think when Le'Veon Bell wanted that money and they told him to go jump in the empty swimming pool, I think that was where it changed. At least in my mind, I felt like that was the moment where running backs, even as high on the chart as he was, that was when they realized, okay, we can do this without these guys.
Exactly. Yeah, and the way you can also look at it is it's becoming more of a quarterback running type of offense where you see the quarterbacks running a lot more. So it takes away from having that main running back that really shows out and is like the name of the team, like Adrian Peterson, possibly even a LaDainian Tomlinson, because they had quarterbacks back in the day that were not runners. I mean, it was Brett Favre. It was the Phillip Rivers. These guys sat in the pocket and threw the ball.
But Tom Brady.
Now you got all these guys that are running with their feet, and actually some of them gaining more yards than any of the running backs. I'm looking at the Falcons and the Bills mostly, and it's almost like there really is not a need for a big-time running back past their first 4 or 5 years. And I hate to see that because I do like the classic football ways. I like seeing the running backs build success.
Yeah, the team the team that's making it work the best right now is really the 49ers.
Yeah.
But honestly, they don't really have a choice.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey's a perfect running back in this type of football because he is a guy you can dump passes off to. You can either just throw it to him as a wide receiver. And
he can pass himself.
He can throw the ball himself. It's great stuff from all sides, but it is a little bit of a tragic little thing that we're seeing in the NFL. And even going back to Le'Veon Bell and his contract, I mean, he did sit out that season with the Steelers. He sat out the entire season only to get a $27 million guaranteed contract from the Jaguars that he didn't even play all the way through. So, I mean, he got his money eventually, but it was kind of just the breaking point that really started this whole conversation in the first place.
It seems like they're trying to get rid of him, not even a year early, but about 2 years early.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley, think about that.
And I think that's what's going on now is I think they're looking around and they're doing that. And you were talking about the 49ers. How wild is it that they've been through the Super Bowl how many times with trash heap quarterbacks?
Yeah.
And the Cowboys hadn't been there since, 96?
Yeah.
Since the Olympics in Atlanta?
It's true.
It's always been trademarked by...
I just had to take that little shot.
You had to.
I know your dad would be proud of me for that.
Yeah, it's always been trademarked by a really good defense. I mean, remember the year Kaepernick won it?
Yeah.
I mean, that defense was insane for the 49ers.
Going into the Super Bowl, I mean, they didn't look like the team they looked like, obviously, during the playoffs and all that. But, I mean, whenever Kaepernick went to the Super Bowl, I mean, the defense did show up. I mean, and it was the main part.
Nobody else.
It was the main part for the 49ers is having that solid defense. But, Brandon, thank you very much for calling in, buddy. Can't wait to hear from you again.
Roll Tide and rest in peace, Ryan Mallett.
Yes, sir.
Roll Tide and rest in peace, Ryan.
Yeah, and that was the next conversation I would get into. By the way, Roll Tide, very fitting for our conversation about Josh Jacobs and possibly getting a new contract because obviously that guy, he played for Alabama, won a few national championships. It's nice to see. But I do want to get into, before we end out this cool segment, a little bit of that more somber news because a lot of crazy things were going down in the sports world from two different sides of the sports world. Former Razorback and NFL quarterback Ryan Mallett, he did pass away yesterday. It was alleged that he drowned at a beach in Miami, Florida, and honestly, altogether with that whole story, it's tough. I mean, it's tough for the community, it's tough for Arkansas, it's tough for really just everybody involved because he's 35 years old. This guy was a part of a lot of organizations, and seeing him go in such a kind of a random way, really it just brings tears to honestly everybody's eyes. But then over in the NASCAR world, Jimmy Johnson's in-laws, as well as his nephew, were found dead after a suspected murder-suicide, leading to Johnson and his team to pull out of the upcoming race in Chicago. So a lot of prayers needed for the families and friends affected by both tragedies. It was a whole ordeal of just tough things going down in the sports world, but it's life. I mean, I hate to end off on the cool segment like that, but I mean, it's just tragic events just come in the weirdest of ways. It's the weirdest of things, but either way, we got to hop out of here because when we come back, we're going to close out this first hour, preview the second, and get into more of the sports as well as gaming talk on the other hour. So don't go anywhere because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Guys, music can inspire us. Let the concert quality sound system at Zoom Indoor Cycling help push you harder than you ever thought possible. No matter if you're a beginner or an experienced rider, you'll ride top-of-the-line Stages SC3 bikes as the most talented instructors in North Alabama motivate you to reach your goals.
You can do it!
Zone Indoor Cycling is this week's Zone deal. Get a $100 certificate for just $50. Get yours now at 977ESPN.com. $2 specialty shoe rental per ride for new riders. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. Taking care of your property yourself can be a real headache. Eagle can handle it for you. They offer full landscaping services, irrigation, mowing, bush hog, and can install plants and trees, sod, and even landscape borders. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know we were still doing the show thanks to that very long intro of just silence.
It keeps you sharp.
It doesn't keep me sharp. It keeps me about to fall asleep before another segment on this wonderful programming that is the Afternoon Blitz. Welcome back, everybody. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Hey.
This hour has been presented to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online and fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Those are the great guys over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. And although the NFL might be a little reluctant to pay their playmakers, it's a little different over in the NHL, okay? Because good old Timo Meyer, he has got himself a new shiny little contract for the New Jersey Devils, where he'll be making an extra $70 million on an 8-year extension with this new team that he did find himself on. And let me tell you, this kid's 26 years old. He's 26 years old.
26.
He was drafted in the same draft as Connor McDavid and Eichel. I mean, these guys. I mean, he came into the league, and look at these guys. I feel like the 2015 draft was probably one of the best when it comes to getting the playmakers that you need on your team. Because holy cow, okay, looking at this guy's NHL career, man has 472 games in his belt. All right, across those games, he scored 163 goals. He has 167 assists. Very, very nice little points on that both, okay? Which equals out to 330, of course, because that's how hockey works. You get an assist, you get a point. You get a goal, you get a point, okay? Yeah. Very, very equal with both of those. And he's also just a stud player, sitting at 6'1", 220 pounds, and number 96 for the Devils. And, I mean, the guy might have been drafted on the Sharks, but, you know, everything happens for a reason. And now he's making big bank over in New Jersey. And a player that currently is not making big bank, but will be probably soon, is one Mr. Dalvin Cook, because turns out there's a lot of teams looking at him. He's even received some offers that we have no idea what it consists of. But one of those teams is the Miami Dolphins. And if you know anything about Dalvin Cook, he is a Miami... he was born in Miami, okay? I mean, that's his hometown he's talking about. It would be a dream for him to play there. But at the same time, I mean, there's probably other money coming from other teams that we are now seeing that might be able to sway his opinion somewhere else. And some of those teams would be the Buffalo Bills, the Chicago Bears, as well as the Cardinals, and, of course, the Jets. We've talked about them a little bit. And we can go into a little bit more depth about that stuff, but possibly later on. We'll have to maybe push that to another episode, possibly even tomorrow's episode that won't even be on the Afternoon Blitz. It'll be on the Tom Abraham Show, because that's right, me and the Bandi Man are back on the Tom Abraham Show.
We're taking it over again.
Taking it over, and you know what? Why don't we take over Friday as well, and I cannot wait. And you know what? It doesn't mean that we're not going to have a John segment. John is still slated to come on tomorrow, so you will be able to listen to that still on the Afternoon Blitz if you do not catch it on the Tom Abraham Show from 12 to 2 tomorrow. It's going to be wonderful. We take over the show whenever Tom is gone, and he's currently right now enjoying Florida to his fullest. And you know what? A lot of those pictures are coming in of my mom holding my cute little dog, and I'm just thinking, I'm happy for them. They don't have to deal with my crap anymore. Because I moved out, baby. He's still calling me, though. He called me yesterday. I guess like a post of his of mom got like super popular. I forgot to see that. Let me see I got to see exactly what he was talking about. He said he had a lot of traction, and he said the only post to ever really pop off, of course, had to be of your mother. And let's see. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Celebrating 43 years married to this beauty today. And it's a picture of my beautiful mother in a beautiful dress. And it's got a few likes. 5,125 likes.
Whoa!
Yeah, Bandi,
Whoa!
Either way, if you guys want to show us that love over
Congratulations,
on the Blitz, you can very much do so. But we're going to carry this over to the second hour, where we'll be talking to one Mr. James Larson from USFO Newsroom.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day, Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at $5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If your home needs updating or you have some projects that you just haven't gotten to, Eagle can help. They install shower doors, mirrors, shelving, blinds, bath hardware, and lots more. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, Eagle can insulate your home and help you save money with fiberglass, spray foam, and cellulose insulation, and can help you decide what's best for your project. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money. These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. Taking care of your property yourself can be a real headache. Eagle can handle it for you. They offer full landscaping services, irrigation, mowing, bush hog, and can install plants and trees, sod, and even landscape borders. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
No one knows your Ford better than our factory-trained certified technicians, and that's a fact. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, letting you know about a one-time service promotion good through June 30th only. Starting at just $79.95 when you get the Works package for your vehicle. You buy the first one, the second one is on us. The Works package includes a synthetic blend oil change, tire rotation, vehicle checkup, and more. You buy the first one, the next one is on us, but only through June 30th. Schedule online today and come in to Woody Anderson Ford.
This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. The Blitz has been called. The Blitz has been called. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for The Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Second hour here on the Afternoon Blitz on a wacky Wednesday in no man's land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Yep.
And make sure you guys are downloading our app, the Blitz Sports Radio Network, because I know a lot of you guys are listening over on the sister station's app, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, which is totally fine. But there's no telling when, somebody's going to get around to possibly just taking us off of that app, so you guys could maybe just all go over to the Blitz Sports Radio app. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but we had our first fun hour, and it's now in the books. And, it's not completely in the books because after the show, you can go back and watch it or listen to it, depending on what you want to do. Just go to our social media, and you'll be able to find that. But also make sure you're following us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV to make sure you are really just involved in this. I mean, it's just like having two bros just chilling out in your house talking sports, gaming, and otherwise, just other things altogether. Because I know that first segment was all about HBO Max's two newest shows, and it was a fun little conversation.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
One of them's probably going to be going a little strong in the future. One of them is getting canceled after 5 episodes.
Yeah,
so pick your poison.
It's crazy because honestly, I would have thought that Clone High would be the one that gets canceled, but honestly, still around today, and it's still making jokes about it. Either way, we had a lot of fun with that, but we're gonna have a lot of fun in the second hour because first off, we're gonna have a special guest on, and second off, it's presented by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place.
They get the best vehicles.
For the best prices. That's right, you drive home in a brand new 2023 Bronco, Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you. Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys. Find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. Now, as all of you guys know, the USFL is coming to an end this weekend with the championship game going down in Canton, Ohio. The Stallions are going up against the Maulers, and it should be a good one. But to really just answer all the questions we have from not only the season, but the playoffs, as well as the championship game, we have one Mr. James Larson from the USFL newsroom. James, how are you doing today?
I mean, it couldn't be doing any better. The USFL Championship's right around the corner, right?
Exactly, and it's setting up to be, I don't want to say a mirror match of what we saw in the XFL, because what we saw in the XFL was a team that had some kryptonite in their defense, that being the DC Defenders, and an Arlington Renegades team that kind of was on the up and up with their new quarterback that they got in Luis Perez. But now looking at the USFL, we are getting a 4-6 team going up against an 8-2 team. But tell us how this is going to be a little bit different.
You know, you make a great point there, Bailey, because it's a very, very similar situation. You've got a 4-6 team that was down and out for most of the season. Not to say that they weren't talented. It was just similar to Arlington. They just couldn't put it together. After Week 8, they were 2-6. And here they are, 3 wins later in the USFL Championship. It's a pretty wild scenario. But just due to how weak the North was across the board, they were able to sneak in the playoffs and then got that win in the overtime thriller against Michigan last week.
Yeah.
So it's going to be such a fascinating matchup. You've got the red-hot Birmingham Stallions, who really are, the star team in this league. They're 8-2. They've won 6 straight. For anyone who caught the playoff game last week, we thought it'd be a shootout between 2 of the best teams in the league, but they made New Orleans look like a high school team. I mean, it was just lopsided throughout the entire game. So there's so many factors heading into this one, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and honestly, what I was thinking was it's like almost going up against Bishop Sycamore and IMG, and I was just like, obviously you don't want to go that far. These are, respected players in their own right, but talk about that team before we even move on to, obviously I want to go to the Maulers as well, but talk about how just resilient the Stallions were. I mean, that game was a lot closer than it was thanks to a few late scores from New Orleans, but I mean, Alex Magoo, this squad has just looked so pieced together. Just kind of talk about them for a minute.
Well, the Stallions, they have such an equipped head coach in Skip Holtz. Yeah. This is a guy who's done it at the college level and now in the USFL. He's got a team that's 20-3. They're on the brink of winning 2 straight championships in only 2 seasons. And we're starting to talk a little bit of a dynasty here. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but this team has only lost 3 games across 2 seasons. Yeah. They've won the South Division twice, and now here they are, ready to win another championship if all goes well for them on Saturday. And you have to give Skip Holtz a lot of credit because Birmingham, what people don't realize is this team faced so much adversity this season. They've had so many players go down with injury, just to name a few. Really in Week 1, Bo Scarborough, he's an Alabama legend, and he was primed to be a big-time piece of their offense this year, but he's been gone the entire season. They lost Marlon Williams for the entire year. They lost Scooby Wright for most of the year. Big-time playmakers, yet Skip Holtz found a way to bring in other players. The GM, Zach Potter, did an excellent job as well. And really just across the board, it was the next man up mentality that kept this team together and has them in a position to go all the way.
Exactly. And you talk about a dynasty, right off the bat with this league kind of coming back into play. It's not too different from what the NFL was getting into back when the Super Bowl first started over there. You had Green Bay win the first 2. How likely is that to happen over in the USFL as well?
With the way Alex Magoo is playing, it's quite likely.
Yeah.
You look at the stats of this guy, and it's simply remarkable. And we've seen some incredible talent in spring football leagues the past few years. We've been blessed, between the XFL and the USFL with phenomenal athletes. But you look at the numbers that Alex Magoo is putting up, and it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Birmingham against New Orleans, and granted, this is against a solid Breakers defense, one of the top-rated defenses in the league. The Stallions posted 553 total yards of offense. They averaged 8.9 yards per play. And if you look at what Alex Magoo did, he threw for 310 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaged 10 yards per attempt, and he added 84 yards and a touchdown on the ground. That's never been done before in the history of the USFL. And it was just simply remarkable. And you've got a guy like this who can, if you watch him play, the amount of times he scrambles in the back of the pocket and somehow eludes multiple tacklers and then fires a dart to someone down the field. It's ridiculous. He really is a star in this league.
Exactly. James Larson on from USFL Newsroom talking all things USFL. And right now, I mean, looking at the way Alex Magoo plays, I mean, you can also think back to when he played in the NFL. He had a few starts, or he played a few games. But kind of looking at him now in this new light almost, I mean, he fits most of the criteria that a coach would want in a newfound quarterback in the NFL. I mean, we look at what we got. I mean, we have the quick, speedy quarterbacks that are kind of, and we conversated this just a little bit ago, that are kind of taking out the running back position in the NFL, making it look a little less important. But, I mean, Alex Magoo, he might just fit that exact role. Do you see him maybe going into the NFL yet again in the near future, or do you think he's sticking with this team just a year longer?
He absolutely should. I mean, after this season, in my opinion, there's no way he doesn't at least get some looks. There definitely should be some teams bringing him in this offseason, at least for some tryouts, and we would bring him into camp and see what he can do, you know, on the NFL level. But, I mean, the USFL, we've got some outstanding defenses in this league, and this guy has just been tearing them up week in and week out. And as you mentioned, he's just been playing at such a high level with his dual-threat capabilities that he's exactly the type of guy that could be exactly the type of player that needed a league like the USFL to develop, right? He went into the NFL a few years ago, saw some time in preseason, but just never found the right squad to fit with. But now, coming out of the USFL in year 2, I really think he's proven himself to get another opportunity.
Exactly. And then looking over at the Maulers, because this will be the team that the Stallions will be going up against come July 1st. I mean, they got also a pretty solid quarterback who knows how to move around the pocket as well. He does lead that team when it comes to rushing in most of those games. That is one Mr. Troy Williams. Kind of just talk about the success that the Maulers found in that championship game for the respected region against the Panthers.
Yeah, so you make a great point about Troy Williams, and the reason why Pittsburgh has seen some success as of late is just his growth and his development as a playmaker. Coming into this season, he was not the starting quarterback. He was the backup to James Morgan. But a couple weeks into the season, Coach Ray Horton decided to make a switch to Troy because of his dual-threat capabilities, which is something that we see in these leagues, especially in the spring football scene, is when you have a mobile quarterback, it just changes the dynamic of everything. Because offensive lines are tough to find. You know, to find good offensive linemen, the NFL can't even find good offensive linemen for all 32 teams. So in these spring leagues, it's especially important to have a quarterback that can scramble, and Troy Williams has provided the team with exactly that. He's really done a great job, not just as a passer, but also, as you mentioned, in the ground game. He leads the team in both those categories. So he's been just his growth and the confidence that he has in his game right now has been key to their success. Another aspect is the defense. Pittsburgh has the best defense in the league, so while Birmingham might have the best offense, there's no doubt about it. The Maulers' defense is about as stout as it gets. Jaron Horton, the defensive coordinator for the team, son of head coach Ray, he ended up winning Assistant Coach of the Year this season, and for good reason. His defense, again, they lead the league in almost every single category. They had multiple all-USFL players make that defensive team. So, yeah, it's just been spectacular across the board, and that's why they're in a position to somehow pull this off.
Yeah, and would you say that defense might be the reason why you can't fully count out this Maulers team when they're going up against the team that, first off, is the reigning champion, and second off, just looks almost unbeatable?
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And going back to the XFL, right? I mean, DC in that game, they were 9-1, or counting the playoff win, 10-1. They looked unstoppable. Yeah. And then Arlington came out and did their thing. So we can absolutely see a very similar instance here in the USFL. But again, just circling back to this defense, what they've been able to do across the board, they have so many playmakers. I don't know if I've ever seen a defense this deep in either league over the past couple of years. You've got guys up front like Boogie Roberts, Kai Vatizino. You got Reuben Foster, the former first-round NFL pick out of Alabama. So this defense is stacked in the secondary. Mark Gilbert, Eli Walker, a couple of guys have been doing fantastic work all year. So it's going to be an intense battle for sure.
Yeah, and looking at the location of where this game will be played in Canton, Ohio, how much importance does the destination of this game actually mean to these teams? Because first off, you got a Birmingham team that rides hot, of course, in Birmingham, and then you have a Pittsburgh team that plays in Canton, Ohio. I mean, it feels like this game might really just be a home field advantage game for this Pittsburgh team. Do you think that's going to play into account, or do you think maybe Birmingham might travel pretty good?
Well, that's a great question. And last year, I was really interested to see how things would pan out. I had the pleasure of going to the game and being down there on the field, and it was fascinating because so many Birmingham fans traveled out there. And on one side of the stadium, you had just thousands and thousands of Stallions fans, and on the other side, you had thousands and thousands of Stars fans. So I'm expecting the same thing this season, especially since Birmingham, they're back in it. The fans are excited. We saw how packed Protective Stadium was this past week for their playoff game. This town, this city is really coming behind this team. So I'd expect plenty of Birmingham fans to travel alongside seeing plenty of people coming out from Pittsburgh as well. They've really done a great job supporting their team, and this past week for the North Division Championship saw a good crowd as well.
Yeah, and I mean that also kind of carries over to the TV ratings. I saw you definitely posted about it with the Pittsburgh-Michigan game getting over 950,000 views on NBC. Then on the Birmingham versus New Orleans game got over 850,000. I mean, just kind of talk about the ratings compared to maybe the XFL or even the past season when it comes to these TV ratings.
So I'd say the league should be pretty happy with where they were this past week with the playoff ratings. You compare them to what they were a season ago, and they're very similar. NBC saw almost an identical number, and the number on Fox was down a bit compared to last year, but you also have to take into account that it was a blowout. I mean, Birmingham was up, 33 points just 2 quarters into that game.
Yeah.
So overall, across the board, you had 852,000 for Birmingham versus New Orleans, and then 957,000 for Pittsburgh and Michigan. I'm definitely expecting the championship to get well over $1 million. Last year we saw that one hit $1.5 million, so they'll be in good shape. And I think it's a little tough to compare with the XFL because it's not apples to apples.
Yeah.
The XFL had a much different structure when it comes to their TV and broadcasting deals. They did have both their playoff games on ESPN, which is a very big channel. It's not an over-the-air network, but obviously ESPN is a popular sports destination, and Comparing the semifinals between both leagues, the USFL was up by a few 100,000, but it makes sense just based on what each channel gets respectively.
Exactly.
But across the board, it's just great to see spring football doing well.
Oh, for sure. And it seems like we're already potentially in the works for getting a Season 3 for the USFL. So, I mean, how do you see these increasing numbers and viewership and just kind of more consistent overall translating into next season?
You're absolutely right, and yeah, the league is obviously gearing up towards Season 3. That's always been the plan. They've already started selling tickets in most of the hubs between Memphis, between Birmingham, and now Canton is also confirmed to be a hub for the 2024 season.
Nice.
Still waiting for an announcement from Michigan. We know that it's definitely going to be a hub location for the league, and they're also looking to expand to other markets in 2024 as well. So it's something it's a very fluid situation. A lot can change. This past season is an example of that, to where we originally thought it would only be 2 hubs in 2023, and then we ended up getting 4. So it's really hard to know what we're actually going to get until the off season kind of clarifies and confirms things along the way. But the great news is that the USFL is coming back. I mean, that's basically guaranteed. It's something that was always the plan, and I'm looking forward to seeing just how Birmingham continues to ball out down there in Alabama.
And when you say expand, does that just mean on the hub side, or is there any talk that's on the football team side? Because I feel like a lot of these leagues are kind of set in stone with the 8 teams that they have really just sitting on their divisions.
That's a fascinating question, and it's something that certainly isn't out of the equation.
Okay.
I would say all signs are currently pointing to 8 teams being the structure for Season 3.
Yeah.
But again, anything could change. Anything can happen. It really just depends on what Fox and what the USFL is looking at heading into Season 3, what the best plans are, right? And something to take into consideration is, let's say they don't go into all 8 markets. Let's say they spread out into 5 or 6 hubs for 2024. Maybe do you add a couple more teams? Do you have 10 teams in 6 hubs for 2024? So that's a possibility. Also, this is nothing that's been confirmed or really talked about. It's just a hypothetical question to ask. Something to keep an eye on, too, is a lot of chatter around Canton, right? They've hosted Pittsburgh and New Jersey this year, but could Canton get a team? That's a valid question to ask, and it's something to keep an eye on heading into the offseason.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, honestly, if a Canton team did arise, I mean, that would pop up to be one of probably my favorite teams, just because Cleveland, the Browns are one of my favorite in the NFL. Obviously, I like Alabama. That's kind of why I settled with Birmingham. Also, because back whenever the AAFL was a thing, I was a Birmingham Iron fan. It was sad to see them go a little too soon. But last question for you, James. Looking at these two teams going at it, do you have any predictions on what we may see at the end of it all?
Well, I think it's safe to say that Birmingham is the favorite to win this game, and it's simply because on paper they're favored to win, and just with how this offense is playing. You can't count Pittsburgh out. I would never count the Maulers out. I think that they're one of the sneaky candidates to get the job done. It's something I've kind of been talking about throughout the season is don't sleep on these guys. I mean, we've seen what they've done the last few weeks, so anything is possible. But on paper, you can't deny what Skip Holtz, Alex Magoo, and the Birmingham Stallions are doing. I mean, it's just simply remarkable. And if everything plays out according to what people are predicting and what the numbers would say, Birmingham is winning their second championship.
Great stuff. That's what I like to hear. James Larson from the USFL Newsroom. James, always love having you on. It's great to get you on right before the championship game. Let the people know where they can find you online and on socials.
Yes, sir. So my Twitter is @JamesLarsonPFN. That's where all the main USFL news and content is going to be coming out. I write for the USFLnewsroom.com, so we've got you the #1 news source for everything USFL related. And I also do photography. So in case you feel like checking some of those out, my Instagram, @JamesLarsonOfficial. I've been shooting all the games at Ford Field and also some games in Canton this year. So that's been a lot of fun and just exciting.
Very nice. James, thank you much for your time. Enjoy the game this weekend, and we can't wait to talk with you again.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Good stuff from James Larson and the USFL Newsroom. I mean, this guy knows what he's talking about when he comes to the USFL stuff. I mean,
for sure.
Come on now. I mean, we got the guys that, talk the XFL, obviously, but when it comes to James Larson, he brings a little extra energy. I love to see it, obviously. We have good questions. I love to see that as well. It's wonderful having him on, and make sure you guys follow him on the socials as well as on the USFL Newsroom, because he's got some great articles for you guys. But a lot of interesting things are coming out from the USFL. Recently, they are announcing all of their Player of the Year awards, and right now we're seeing that the Houston Gamblers' Mark Thompson got named the USFL Offensive Player of the Year. I mean, the man had 14 touchdowns in the span of how many games? Yeah, I mean, he does a pretty good job. I mean, in 10 games, Bandi. Okay, 10 games. He had 14 touchdowns. Okay, that's a pretty good average right there. He sits above the rest. And then Michigan Panthers' Frank Ginda was named the USFL Defensive Player of the Year. Surprising that none of these guys came out of the best teams in the league, and it kind of gives me the question, I mean, is it similar to the Crimson Tide of the past, where a team like the Stallions can be excellent altogether instead of having just one or two players that really just show out, like, the Trent Richardsons or the Derrick Henrys or possibly even the Bryce Youngs that go on to end up winning a Heisman Trophy to boot?
Yeah.
But prior to that, Alabama had zero. Before Mark Ingram, there was no Heisman Trophies going to Alabama. It was a team effort to get all of those natties, and it really shows for some of these teams that are really just built around each other to kind of form. And if there was one player that would deserve a possibly quarterback of the year, I would say Alex Magoo's the guy. Okay.
For sure.
Plus, that last name is pretty dope. But we got to hop into a break, guys, because when we come back, it's done with the sporting news, and we're on to the gaming news with the E-Play-by-Play and the Bandi Man, so don't go anywhere, because a lot of fun to come here on the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seat, managing partner of University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Crimson Tide football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com for all our great offers. And get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today. Because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Welcome back, everyone.
Yes.
To the Afternoon Blitz.
Yes, welcome back.
Here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network, I'm the Bandi man, Bailey Lowry, joined across the glass by Captain Cool John Abraham.
What's up, everybody?
And This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place.
To get the best vehicles.
For the best prices.
That's right. You can drive home in a brand new 2023 Bronco, Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you, including the F-150, the Maverick, and the always reliable Ranger. Head on down, talk with Bobby White and his crew, and they will get you guys hooked up, no doubt about that. And you can also find out more information over at WoodyAndersonFord.com. So go do that right now. Just, do it on the side. On the side. You still gotta have to be listening to us, though, of course. Yeah, do it, Bandy. Do it. You too do it, Bandy. You as well. Either way, we got some gaming news to get into. Bandy, I'm going to throw it over to you.
That is right. For one, we've actually got a cool story that came out. The voice actors of Luke and Marissa from Street Fighter 6 recently did a live stream, and it actually included some behind-the-scenes development, including one that actually got Luke's, one of his win poses was dedicated due to the group of the FGC, the fighting game community.
There you go.
Fun story to talk about there, on top of the tech that was discovered.
Nice.
In the game as well, that's soon to be patched out. But Callisto Protocol, man. I thought I was done talking about this game, but I actually had no idea DLC was coming out for it, and it released yesterday.
Okay.
Because get this, the PlayStation 4 and PS5 exclusivity embargo finally lifted.
Nice.
Where they get it for the first 48 hours.
Sweet.
And I don't think it's not going to save it.
No?
In fact, it's kind of like the nail in the coffin.
I thought the game was looking up for a little bit. I thought it was getting better.
I thought it was too, but the fans are calling this DLC IP abandonment.
Ooh.
Those are not soft words
Yeah.
for any kind of, independent property.
No, definitely not.
And the Activision Blizzard trial is currently underway, and new details have emerged, including how much The Last of Us 2 actually cost to make.
I look
And
forward to
Horizon Forbidden West 2.
Ooh, all right.
Because get this, Sony was poorly redacting these documents.
Oh, I love that.
That's all coming up here on the E Play-by-Play.
Time to catch up on esports with E Play-by-Play with the Bandy Man.
But to talk about the Callisto Protocol first, because I really wanted this game to be good.
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be. I mean, this was setting up to be. It should have been a Dead Space remake that ended up being bad.
Yeah.
And this should have been like the new, golden child of this kind of genre,
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, here's a brand new property, a brand new character, story, everything.
Yeah. Make 3 games of it, possibly a 4th one. It just it was the start of something new.
Maybe shoehorn in some unneeded co-op in the 3rd one for no reason and put it in snow.
Yeah. There's also that. That's kind of what I was getting towards.
Why not? But this DLC, for one, I'm going to get into spoiler territory here. So if you don't want to hear spoilers for this Callisto Protocol, well, you can mute for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, literally, we'll be done with it in 2 seconds.
Okay, but it does follow up at the end of the regular game where you can continue playing on. It kind of left you in a cliffhanger ending at the end of the original.
Yeah.
In the DLC, after you kill the final boss, everything's wrapping up. It's probably one of the worst twists I've seen.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you already kind of know where I'm going with
You
this.
said a twist, and I'm like, oh, of course, the game's doing a twist, and you're saying it's the worst. I can only imagine, Bandy. Is it a dream?
Close.
Oh, love to hear that. What did they do to make this more interesting?
It was all a hallucination.
Oh,
He's been dead this entire time.
What? It was. How does a dead man hallucinate, Bandy? It doesn't.
Beats me.
It doesn't, unless it's like an alien that still thinks about things, or a zombie that still has a brain that doesn't exist.
And even the developers are coming. I don't want to give anything away from one of the quotes, but we made a few bold choices in the story that I hope the community will really find satisfying. I can't wait to hear from players once the game is live.
There's nothing more not satisfying than getting an ending like that.
Yes. I mean, what is one of the worst ways to give payoff to a player? It's to tell them that everything you just experienced didn't matter.
Yeah, it was absolutely worthless.
It never actually happened.
Yeah.
The main character's been dead the entire time. Thank you for playing our game.
Yeah, and then it closes off anything from future, like if they wanted to add on to it at all in any way to make this game seem like it's got at least a lot of content for an average game. Oh, no, that's not going to happen because, you know what, it's still all just a hallucination. And if anything else happens, it'll have to be a different type of game altogether because hallucinations are just one thing.
Yeah.
Nobody experiences them the same.
Yeah, so now I'm seeing the IP abandonment comments because like you said, where do you take the story from here? You can't do it from Jacob's perspective anymore because he's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
He's donezo. He's out of the story now.
And don't you follow the same character throughout Dead Space, or is that just through like the first 2? Or
Yeah.
it goes all the way through the series.
Yeah, like all the way through 3, you're playing as Isaac Clarke.
Okay.
You go through the Ishimura incident,
Yeah.
what was the second ship called?
It's all right. You remember the first one, and that's way more than I would have given you.
It was like a huge colony though in the second one. Like it was like a whole like community.
Yeah, like the Horizon.
Yeah, something like that. It had something to do with like space or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe like the USS Spectre or something, or
I can just look it up.
yeah.
Dead
I
Space
think
2
it's
ship.
I think it's something close to there. And then in the third one, you're kind of going from like different planet to planet, like different locations, but you always follow Isaac.
Yeah, the USG Ishimura.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
The Ishimura is the first one.
Looked up the second one. Why did it?
Well, you do go to the Ishimura in the second one.
Okay.
So I guess it's kind of right.
It's still it's the ship. Let me see the colony. Let me see the colony for it.
Okay.
Colony.
Okay.
Okay. The Aegis 6?
Yes.
7. The Aegis 7
Aegis-
colony.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
I think so. Wait, that was the planet.
The heck?
Oh my god, I'm thinking of the ship.
There's so many different ones.
There's so many. Okay, you know what? If I just look up Dead Space 2 on the wiki and look up the plot,
something will come up.
Let's see. The Sprawl. That's what it's
Sprawl.
called. The Sprawl.
Okay.
The space station, the Sprawl.
I wouldn't want to live in a sprawl.
I wouldn't want to live in a sprawl either because of what happened to it. But
the name alone.
Getting away from that Callisto Protocol, dude, I am just disappointed.
Yeah.
I wanted to see this emerge as a brand new survival horror IP, and it did look like, just from the trailers they set up, it had one of the best, just pure trailers setting you up for a video game to get a hype for. Like that music in the background for the theme song hitting and all the gameplay moments, it looks fantastic.
One word to describe it: adrenaline. And then I would also add another word that says rush. Adrenaline rush. That is what the trailer gave us. And from what I've heard from all of the different reviews, it's just kind of a lackluster story altogether. Gameplay's very clunky because it started off just broken, all over the place, which we see that in big games nowadays, but it never really, saved itself. And that's a thing that games have the ability to do nowadays because of all of the free DLC you can throw in or the fixes, all that stuff. It's not like the past where you drop a game and you can't really do anything to it when it comes to fixing the base game because it came on a disc.
Yeah, I mean, like back in like arcade machines, I mean, they would like update games sometimes, but even then, that was the process of getting out. You had to get a whole brand new machine, pretty much, or like a whole new version of the game, and like the company itself had to go out to the arcade location and install it themselves.
Open up the entire cabinet. I'm glad that nobody needs to come to my house. Open up my Xbox and do something to where it gives me a few more levels on a game that already not that good.
Yeah, man, imagine getting like a sketchy DLC dealer.
He just opens up his robe. He's got DLC games, just like.
What you got? I got Map Pack 2 for Black Ops 2.
I got the season pass for Fortnite.
No, I got the Callisto Protocol DLC.
No,
I'm fine.
Yeah, put that one away. Put that away.
Are you sure?
Yo, man,
going for cheap.
Yo, man, put your clothes on.
But onto the Activision trial, actually, because we're talking about Call of Duty a little bit.
Yeah.
New details have come out regarding Warzone Mobile.
Ooh.
In fact, we actually got a release date.
Finally.
We first heard that it's going to be coming just sometime this year.
Yeah.
But it looks like, for right now, it is looking toward a fall release of, 2023.
So, pretty much whenever the other game comes out.
Yeah, because Bobby Kotick had to take the witness stand today, and he said squeezing Warzone on the mobile device is no easy task, but Activision has managed to introduce it to the platform without much compromise to the game's DNA. It still looks and feels very much like Warzone, with each new tweak ensuring that the experience translates to mobile as easy as possible.
Plot twist: it won't. It's not going to be as perfect as your Xbox's Warzone or your PC's Warzone. It's going to be a little clunky. I just want to let you know.
It's mobile.
Yeah, it is. It is mobile.
But he also talked about Call of Duty exclusivity. And what got me is that he was like, no.
Yeah.
You wouldn't alienate so many active players to put it exclusive only to Xbox.
Yeah.
Which is true. Sony and Call of Duty pretty much go hand in hand because PlayStation does have the largest player base for Call of Duty. It has been proven.
Yeah.
So just going exclusive to Xbox would just be pretty much business suicide.
It would be. I mean, a lot of people would need to either drop Call of Duty altogether or buy themselves an Xbox. And honestly, the cheaper one is the former. So,
yeah, he said you would alienate over 100 million monthly active players.
Wow.
Which that's actually got really kind of a rough number for how many play on console. That's because the only thing we have to go off is the Steam charts.
it's true. I don't know what they all have to look at, but honestly, we get the Steam charts. That's what we get to look at.
Kotick went on to say half of them play on phones, but the rest of them play on computer and PlayStation. And you would have a revolt if you were to remove the game from more than one platform. Games are very passionate, and so with that kind of investment, time, and effort, you get enthusiastic, passionate group of people.
Yeah.
It would be very detrimental to our business to take Call of Duty off PlayStation.
Yeah.
And he's completely right.
Yeah, and I don't even think Xbox really brought anything up about making Call of Duty exclusive in the first place. I think a lot of it just came from people thinking, oh, well, they're going to buy Activision and Blizzard, which means they could very well make it an exclusive. But honestly, Xbox doesn't want to do that, okay? Xbox doesn't want to do that. They didn't do it with Minecraft. It's not on the PlayStation 5 just because the PlayStation 5 people didn't want to give the details on the system. Mm-hmm. That's totally fine. Xbox never said anything about making this game exclusive. It's been mainly just been the chatter around it. A lot of it's come from Sony as well because they want to stir up the pot a little bit. They don't want Xbox to, acquire Activision and Blizzard. They want to keep it just as free-formed as it can because Sony will be able to work with it a lot easier and get those early passes and all those, buying bundle, packages for PlayStation as well. Even though, honestly, those might not really go away moving forward either way.
Probably not. But now moving on into Street Fighter 6. For one, a good story from Luke's voice actor in that his let's go celebration.
Yeah.
Actually came from the FGC. He was given his own input for celebrations.
Nice.
And here, I'm actually going to, can I actually send you this? It's on, go to eventhubs.com. You should be able to find the clip.
I'm going.
It's like one of the headlining articles, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit while you're trying to pull it up. I should have given you the heads up on this.
Oh, it's totally fine, bro.
But it was due to just watching fighting game creators and like tournament matches and prominent content creators that he got the idea to just go like, let's go.
Yeah.
For a celebration.
And I got it right here.
You got it?
Let's go! So funny story.
I don't know, you can play the whole thing. You can have him explain it.
All right, he's gonna explain it for you.
So funny story for the let's go. Initially, Luke had a lot of different lines for the let's go. It was originally yes, I won, and I just thought that's a little generic.
Yeah.
To get a bit low, I had been watching a lot of Street Fighter competitive videos and a lot of fighting game content and creators. So I noticed that they would pop off and they would go, nice, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I really, really loved that. So
that
in the booth,
scared me for a second.
I looked to Jonathan, our director, and I said, can he say, woo, let's go? And they told me, they looked me in the eye and they said, this is for when the fight is over. Where is he going? And I was like, no. It's like a celebration. And he's like, I don't understand. The fight is won here. He won the fight. Go where? And then I was like, no, trust me. It's a real thing. Just please let me do it.
I would say.
And then I did it, and I went, woo, let's go. And then they were like, all right, we'll let you keep it.
Yay!
It sounds pretty good. Shout out to the fighting game community. That one's for you.
Yeah, you guys wrote that line.
I fought for that one.
Line.
I fought for that one real hard. So that is the story behind Let's Go.
I love it.
Hey.
That's pretty cool. I gotta admit.
Yeah, so shouting it out to the fighting game community, and hey, thank you, the editor, for letting him keep that in.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, it's a very natural response to whenever you win or succeed in anything. I mean, just like, let's go, like, let's do it,
let's go,
like heck yeah, It's just, I like that. It's a nice little touch, and I'm glad that they're giving a little bit of creative freedom to these voice actors, especially the one who does Luke, because this guy's everywhere.
He is everywhere.
He's just like,
dude,
you look huge.
You look huge,
ladies. What?
Are you? I can't say that line. But still sticking on the topic of Street Fighter 6, this game-breaking tech.
Yeah.
Because it is game-breaking.
Of course.
It was one that was discovered. All you have to do is hold down back, medium kick, heavy kick, and heavy punch. then press and hold the simultaneous input assistance when you wake up. This will give you a throw tech if you get thrown, or a block if you don't get thrown.
Okay, so you literally press every single button on the controller, and then you can make sure you don't get thrown after you wake up.
Yeah, relatively.
Okay.
Like, it is actually crazy. I'm seeing inputs on the screen right now. No moves are going out. This guy is pressing every button on his fight stick or controller, everything. He's just in the blocking animation. He's blocking the uppercut if it happens, and if the jury just decides to randomly throw, he will tech it every time.
Yeah.
This is for sure not intended, and this is brought back the thrown loop argument in Street Fighter, and I just want to say, thrown loops have and always will be a thing in these games, in Street Fighter specifically. They have been around since 3. Any character that has really good walk speed, really good normals, and a really good Oki game off a throw, typically translates into Cammy anytime she's in one, has throw loops. They have been apart, and it just turns into a guessing game for the person getting up. What this does is this gets rid of that guessing game entirely. If they throw you, good job, you tech it. If they try to shimmy you and then try to throw you, guess what? You tech that. If they try to uppercut, if they just randomly throw out an uppercut because you're also trying to throw out a throw because you know you're going to tech them, then you'll block that uppercut.
Block it.
It really just seems like there's nothing the opponent can do to open you up while you're doing this tech. And that's where the problem comes in. The problem is not throw loops themselves. That's not it.
No.
As much as people want them to be. It's the idea of a tech existing to where that rock, paper, scissors style mind game just doesn't exist anymore. And that's the problematic part.
That's the problematic. What are they doing to fix it, and when are they going to fix it?
Well, they already said they are aware of the issue. We are aware of a bug related to throw escapes in Street Fighter 6 and are currently investigating the situation. Once we have identified the cause, we will be fixing the issue. We apologize for any inconvenience this has caused our players.
Yeah. Really kudos to the guy that did figure this, whole thing out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, whenever you have EVO coming up just right around the corner, you do not want anything like this. Because when it comes to... When it comes to game-breaking things, okay, when it comes to these fighting games, that is totally different than game-breaking glitches that are in possibly, let's just say, Dead Space, that is, those are pretty bad. You don't want to have them. Any little detail that is broken in a fighting game is going to be found, and it is going to be used just out of nowhere altogether. It's going to be taken advantage of. So it is very good that they figured this stuff out before the big tournament.
But imagine if this guy kept this tech in his back pocket until EVO.
Yeah. That'd be insane.
And it got discovered in bracket.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you could have done about it. That would, especially with a record-breaking entrance, if that tech got discovered and used mid-bracket, and people were going to be using it out of their mind, because again, you have an option select on the table to where you cannot get thrown.
Yeah.
And you can't get baited out of it either.
Which would you take?
Everybody and their mother's going to use that.
Exactly. Unless they ban the move altogether.
They probably would ban the tech at EVO. They'd probably just they would probably immediately see how game breaking is. Be like, all right, we're going to just flat out ban it.
If they even found out. There's going to be a few people who kind of get away with that stuff if if it was still a secret to everybody.
Because you're not seeing the inputs on the side of the screen. You're not knowing they're doing the tech.
I know, yeah. You're just knowing that something's wrong. This guy's not getting thrown when he should be getting thrown, and he's going through the bracket. Yeah. And he's a bronze. He's not that good.
I think that'd be a little obvious. But
he's got a Smurf account.
But man, but I've just seen the arguments come back up on social media. People have been posting clips of characters getting grabbed 5 times in a row. It's like, this is not okay. But he had no answer to this. It's like he had every answer in the world to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be on whether or not he wants to take the risk to gamble on that answer.
Yeah.
Guess what? He could have flash kicked him.
Could have.
Before the second throw, or the third throw, or the fourth throw, or the fifth throw. That's the thing. Each individual throw itself is a rock, paper, scissors situation.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm getting put in a throwing loop. There's no hope for me. It's like, no. Okay, is he going to throw this time? Is he going to do something different this time?
Mm-hmm.
It's on you to take the risk. Of course, the person who is standing up and not with their back on the ground is going to have the advantage.
Sheesh. Just be like that, though.
Be like that.
Truly do.
And it's just been around for as long as I can remember playing Street Fighter, because I never played 2 Turbo, but, I mean, lo and behold, they probably do have throw loops in that game.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wouldn't be surprised, Bandy.
But, hey, why is it always Cammy?
Because she's the best, dude. Of course it's Cammy. She's the best. She's the bee's knees.
That's my only gripe. Why is it always Cammy?
Dude.
Why can't I just get thrown loop by, like, Dan or something? I wouldn't care then.
Cammy's always got to be elite in some sort of way, you know?
Yeah. She's always got to have the long normals for being one of the smallest characters.
Yeah.
And having one of the best walk speeds of the game.
And the best costumes.
And one of the best throws.
Yeah.
That and 6 she can now combo out off of.
And the best hair.
Debatably.
And the best little hat.
I'll give you that one. There are many hats in Street Fighter.
Sheesh.
What can I end this off with? Oh, yeah, let's see. How about the poorly redacted document that Sony kind of brought forward during this case?
Yeah, I want to hear about this.
That actually provided how much it cost to develop, which Last of Us Part 2, $220 million to develop, with a peak head count of some 200 full-time employees.
What?
To develop.
$220 million to create?
You want to hear from Horizon Forbidden West?
A newer game? What?
$212 million. Utilized more than 300 developers.
Wow. I mean, you got to pay for the guys, you know, somehow as well. I mean, look at how much these games made, though. That's the thing. I mean, I have no clue, but I'm guessing it's got to be over 100,000 or 100 million, sorry, to really, you know, make up for the amount of money that you had to either pay for the game alone as well as for the people making the game in the first place.
Yeah. Now, what gets me is this quote right here, though. While most viewers of a movie will watch it once, players of a successful multiplayer AAA game will play it constantly. While a movie might run 2 hours, players of a successful multiplayer AAA game may play it for hundreds of hours a year.
Yeah.
The document then goes on to highlight Call of Duty itself as a critical component of PlayStation's competitiveness, describing its annual release cycle as unique among AAA games. It claims that Call of Duty is played by tens of millions of users on PlayStation alone.
Unique. It's not that unique in the way that they come out every single year. Just look over at EA.
Yeah. Now, what gets me, if Sony wants to lump Call of Duty in as very critical to its AAA gaming process, and especially with its quote on multiplayer AAA games, then why not help these developers actually make a good one?
Yeah, I would agree.
Cool, you get the Oni bundle that you can only buy on PlayStation, but how about you actually, you know, take some of that budget that you're throwing toward a lot of these other AAA studios? If Call of Duty is so critical to you and you want to keep it this badly and you want to keep Xbox's hands off of it, why don't you actually throw some money toward the developer's way and give them some help?
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, the last 3 Call of Duties have just been booty.
Well, I wouldn't say...
Modern Warfare 2, Vanguard.
Some aspects of Modern Warfare 2.
Cold War has been the better one.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess it's all just kind of personal opinion.
I will give Cold War the benefit of the doubt.
I like Modern Warfare 2, all right? I didn't care for the maps, obviously. Warzone kind of taking over. That's just the cycle that these Call of Duty games go down, though.
Yeah.
Alone, on its own, multiplayer, solid campaign. Obviously not the best, but it is a full campaign, and it goes on for quite a while. And obviously, there's just a thrown-in bunch of game modes that you can hop into. So, I mean, I can't say that it's terrible. It's not booty, but I will say that some of these games obviously have been bad. And Call of Duty's got a problem with their microtransactions still to this day.
Yeah. But you think Sony's going to help out with that? No.
No. They're like, more of them.
It's not more they want to keep Call of Duty because it's critical. No, they just don't want Xbox to have it.
Yeah. That also, probably. Sony could probably still stay afloat without it.
Because, hey, they did this exact same spiel back when they got it in the 360 era.
Exactly.
Heading into the Xbox One era.
Yep.
But what do I know? I just covered this stuff for my job.
Yep.
But we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show, so don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
There are those among us when disaster strikes and seconds count, they rush in. Where would Huntsville and America be without them? They're our military and our first responders, and at Woody Anderson Ford, we salute them. Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, where all military personnel and all first responders get an extra $1,000 appreciation cash on top of all other offers. This offer is good through July 5th and can include an extra $1,000 bonus cash on 2023 F-150 and Bronco Sport, $1,500 cash back on 23 Edge, and $2,000 cash back on 23 Explorers. These offers are available for everyone with good credit through Ford Motor Credit, but military and first responders get an additional $1,000 appreciation cash. Our way of saying thank you for having our back. Woody Anderson Ford, over 60 years of serving those that serve us. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Heary, heary! If you want freedom and independence from those high temperatures and those high utility bills, there's only one place to give a ring to, and that is Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us from Talent Heating and Air. And Thomas, you've got the independence and the declaration to give customers those breaks.
That's right. We're offering free second opinions and service calls starting at $17.76.
$17.76 for those service calls. And there's only one phone number to call, and that is
256-503-4490.
It's Talent Heating and Air. You can also find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air, giving you the independence and freedom on this 4th of July from those high temperatures and high utility bills.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. Final segment here on a Wacky Wednesday. Honestly, final segment of the week for us here on the Blitz Sports Radio Network. We'll be on the Tom Abraham Show tomorrow and Friday, but you can also catch us right after that show is done. It will be on this station right here, the Blitz Sports Radio. So you'll still get us. We'll just be a little bit earlier, but either way, you'll still have a lot of fun with it. Real quick, before we get out of here, we can get in some NBA talk just a little bit, you know, because this is like the only place where you can get NBA talk, especially on this station. But Victor Wembanyama, the effect that he has right now on the Spurs is kind of insane, because already the team has reportedly sold 4,000 plus new season ticket deposits for the upcoming season since the Spurs won the draft lottery back on May 16th, showing a 3,000% increase in year-over-year online traffic and sales in the days following the Wembanyama selection during the draft. The Spurs were 22-60 last season, guys. It makes sense. Golly, this is a historically terrible team that we haven't seen since 1997 for the Spurs. But now they got Victor Wembanyama from France. And you know what? they got a lot more fans in the seats as well. But for me and the Bandi Man, we'll catch you guys next Wednesday on this specific show. But we will be back tomorrow on the Tom Abraham Show from 12 to 2, so make sure you guys catch us there. And that's it for the Afternoon Blitz. See you.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event.
1965 for